to take a peek at that. All right, not too bad. To take a peek at that. All right, not too bad. So let's go ahead and talk about the original engine. All right. So the original engine was made not by me, obviously. It was made by a guy named Radnom Games, not random, but Radnom, spelt wrong. And he made this little platform shooter that was called just Platform Shooter 1. Um, it was a little engine you could hang on to with a little stick figure and shoot from, and just kind of, there was no wall jump or anything, and this was just the basic level design that I started out with um, for walled garden. This was the platform because I didn't know how to do collisions or gravity, and I didn't really know how to program a lot of the things like the sprite switching, having the sprites flip, have the arm rotate around, and having that all done correctly, so that when you're like aimed this way, it's not upside down. There was just a bunch of things that I didn't know how to do previously that I now know how to do. So that brings us to the next example, which is just the original, which shows you essentially how it hasn't really changed all that much. It's very much the same. I just added a bunch more. It's the exact same system. I just kind of added a few particle effects. Those aren't grabbables. I'll find something grabbable just to show that it's the same. There, like this. Those hands right there are the exact same little object. I can grab it. See, it's the same object as the other one. And so yeah, that's the gist of that right now. And so here's a peek at what I've been working on today, which was I was trying to do a port of this version of the game to Game Maker Studio 1.4, but I couldn't do it because there was too many obsolete code, too much obsolete code. All my entire I wrote down a list of all the things that are obsolete just in if I tried to port. And this music system, the whole sound system is obsolete. The dialogue system, procedural generated trees are obsolete. Just nothing works. The inventory is obsolete. All the code that I used to use for the other game doesn't work in the new system of Game Maker Studio 1.4 compared to Game Maker 8. So I used to use Game Maker 8, which is, I can show you if I can get it on screen. Where's my screen capture? So there's Game Maker 8, right? And I'll show you the differences right here really quick. If I go into a room, you'll see just the differences here in the game. So in here, if I scroll, it'll just scroll. And that's it. Like, you can just kind of scroll. Now if I go to Game Maker Studio, right? Let's say I just go to Game Maker Studio. I can go to the room, and from here we can zoom out. There's a lot more, just a lot more to do, like tiles, and there's a lot more things you can do. The being able to zoom out and zoom in is a really nice feature. You can also drag and drop, it looks like, and then you can click on objects and actually like drag them around, whereas before, if I compare the two, you'd click on an object and it'd disappear, like no matter what. If you went to go click an object in order to move the object, you had to hold control. So it's a little bit more streamlined. The workflow should be a little quicker. So really, I mean, I've spent 10 years making the game in this engine, in this Game Maker 8. I'm gonna try and rewrite the whole game. And so far, here's the. We'll just see. Let's see if I can display it. New engine. There we go. So display the. This will be gone, and then right here, this is it. So with that being said, with the old version of Game Maker 8, I didn't have any game input controls, so I couldn't actually use the controller. I was reduced to WASD, and Oh, so I was reduced to WASD and arrow control and just keyboard in general. So I was never able to have the gamepad working and operating to the game. So now it does, as you can see, it works, and I have both D-pad and joystick working, which is really cool. I'm happy with that. The arms working to the thing. Oh, I also have haptic feedback for when you're bouncing. So like, you know, just hearing the controller vibrate and having it feel is really nice. I also like the new screen wobble they have going on in this engine that I'm currently working out of. It still seems a little floaty. I've got a lot of work to kind of get it going, but it feels a lot like Walled Garden. The speeds are feeling right, the jump feels right, everything's feeling good. I have slopes. There's slopes now in this new engine, which is really nice. I think you can even push a block and it'll bounce on a button. So let's just try and just barely push it. Yeah, so you can bounce on the block, and I think the block kills you too. So everything's already done for that. So I'm already stoked to just start working with this. This engine seems like a good starting point as any to work from. And this one's made by Zach Bell. It was called the intermediate platformer, and it was $15, but it was free today, or I guess it's been free for a while. So anyone who wants to check out a good platformer engine for Game Maker Studio 4.1, I would suggest checking this one out. There's also a few others he has available, more simple versions, but this is really working for what I want. There's also like some more subtle things that happen, like the character squishing. You can see the little sprite squish when he lands. I believe the same thing happens when you're jumping away from when you jump away from the wall. There's a little bit of squish to your character now. I just feel like it's so much better. It feels better. It feels better to have a controller. From that being said, though, a lot of my game was done with the mouse, and so you used to do a lot of mouse stuff. The inventory was all mouse based. I'm gonna have to figure out a new inventory system, how that's gonna work. And since the inventory is obsolete in this, I'm gonna have to rewrite it all anyways. So keeping everything exists. It's not like I'm starting. I am starting from scratch, but at the same time, I have all of that existing content. All of the instances do exist. The code's there. It does need a rewrite anyways. A lot of it is really haphazard and put together, and I'm learning more about states and using cases and switches instead of if statements. And there's a lot more advanced things I've learned. It's been 10 years since I started programming, so let's see where this goes. And this has been a fun little project for the day to work on the new little um, just working on a new engine, learning some things. I added the arm rotating to the mouse's direction. I also made it so it locks, so it can't go up above and behind, just like I think it does there for some reason. Oh, looks like that's not shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't be able to make it go behind me, but that's okay. I can always figure that out. As I said, it's with it not being mouse based. I think I might end up making the directions based on your direction of which you're pressing, kind of like Cave Story. So I still haven't decided that. But thanks for watching in. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the stream. And if you're just watching this on YouTube or later on, thanks for joining me. You guys have a great day, and hope everyone has a great 2021. We're starting it off really fresh.